right, cool. I can see it live on my channel. Say something.
The guy who thinks filament is a personality trait, and Steve from Layer.
Hey, can people hear us? Hey, Steve, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
All right, I can. Yep. Hey, Printed Vision.
Deeper. Hey, vision. Built up
And,
a bot.
Built over bot. How's everybody doing? So this is obviously our first stream. So
Yeah.
real quick, we're just going to do a little bit of intro of who we are and why we're doing this. So a lot of you guys that know me, Corey, Mojee3D, been doing this roughly since 2009, all different types of 3D printing-esque stuff, design. Met Steve about a year ago, well, not quite a year ago, 3D Printopia. And
Yep.
we actually started doing this, or talking about this. This all came together in what? A couple weeks, Steve?
Yeah, dude. It felt like a week, bro.
Yeah. But and you guys, a lot of you guys know Steve, so I'll let Steve give a little intro of himself.
Well, Steve, aka LayerXLayer. You know, 3D printing since 2016. I'm more of a designer than printer builder per se, but you know, I've been doing it for a while, so I've built a couple printers. Yeah, I'm, you know, I just like to have fun. I'm here to talk about 3D printing and making, you know, met Corey at first, 3D Printopia last year, and we hit it off, and he shot me a message like, hey, you want to do a podcast? And it was something that's always been on my mind anyway. So I was like, yeah, man, let's make it happen. So we came together and do it together in like a week, if that long.
Yeah.
And
This,
I think like, yeah, dude, it's been a roller coaster of a week, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, we tested a bunch of different platforms for this.
Yeah.
And literally I'll put this all together in like a week. So it'll evolve throughout time over the first, you know, month, 2 months. We are going to stream every Tuesday night from 8 to 9:30. Obviously, it's scheduled on Twitch. It's going to say 8 to 10 because they don't let you do half hours. If we go to 10, we go to 10. If not, like I said, 8 to 9:30. The idea behind this is just to kind of, in a very laid back, chill way, talk about the things that we're doing, right? Talk about the things that's happening in the community. Everywhere from new machines to filament to firmware to cool models, neat designers that are out. We also plan on doing some giveaways when we can. Steve's been working really hard on that type of stuff. We're going to be bringing people in a lot. So the idea is to highlight as many people as we can in the community. You know, if that's every week, great. If we skip a couple weeks here and there, that's fine too. But we want to cover everything from people that are manufacturing printers and filament to makers that are designing models, printing models, but makers of all kind. If you utilize 3D printing to make your stuff, you know, we want to talk to you, and we want you guys to have a chance to ask them questions. So, you know, we'll do that. And Steve and I are both pretty positive guys, so we're going to try to keep everything light, fun, positive. But we're also not going to shy away from the things that are more controversial that we all talk about. Right? There are things that happen, and we'll talk about that all here. So
yeah.
See Karen, hi Wingding, Pezliz, hey Pezliz. She did a lot of. I'll give Pezliz some props. She did a lot of plugging for us, and
Dude, this community is like next level, bro.
Yeah,
like it really is. Blown away, man.
Yeah, like I said, this has all been about a week, and everybody was super excited about it. I got private messages, and people were posting on all socials that they're excited. Karen privately messaged me on Instagram wishing us luck like 15 minutes before. You know, it's just everybody in this community is awesome. Hey, Tech Jeeper. So yeah, we can't thank you guys enough.
Seriously. And that's one thing that I've always felt was like this community has been like super amazing. Long story short, like not a lot of people of color in 3D printing, so I was slightly apprehensive when kind of diving into it as well. So just the reception holistically has just been mind blowing, man. You know, and the amount of friends that I've made like over the last 2 years, it's crazy. You know, people that like that I like off the top. You know, like you. We met at 3D Printopia, and I was like, you know, you showed the machine. I was like, dude, that's your machine. I was like, I've seen that machine. I
Oh,
was
the
like, yeah,
so the machine he's talking about, probably the machine that a lot of you guys have seen. Hey, Adam, 3D Medic Vince, how you doing? Hey, Zombie. So the machine that Steve is referring to is the Fallout themed Cheaty X-Max 3 that I did. I brought it to 3D Printopia. But yeah, that was kind of the thing that got us talking, and then basically all weekend long, both Steve and I volunteered to help out at 3D Printopia. I must have handed out about 1,000 bottles of water.
yeah, I did not.
Because it was really, I mean,
I
it
handed out
was
like 50,
yeah, it was
but
so hot.
I was the announcer for 3D Printopia
Yeah, so
last year. It was crazy.
because Steve and I kind of got along real well. I ended up sitting at the front desk where the announcer table was because he was kind of stuck there all weekend,
Pretty much,
kind
yeah.
of trying to help out, and in between handing out 1,000 waters. So we got to know each other really well. So
Yeah.
hence this. K2 Kevin's here. How you doing? So some of the things we wanted to talk about were just a lot of the stuff that we're all talking about, but just kind of dive in a little deeper on it. So one of the things that Steve and I have talked about actually throughout the week, every time we would do like a test stream getting ready for this, is that we're always talking about like different filament types and filament manufacturers and what was important to everybody is like, so me, I don't print as many of the silky bright color more aesthetic type filament. I print a lot of the technical stuff, right? More of the glass fiber, carbon fiber, polycarbonate, the more of the technical filaments. And then Steve kind of does a little bit of all of it, but he has like way more colors than I've ever seen. I've got like blues and reds and greens, but he always has. You actually got me on that. What was it? The zero filament, the dynamic PLA purple. Actually, I think I have it
now
somewhere.
It's funny because I grabbed that filament and then immediately didn't want to use it, and so I printed with it like once, and I'm like, I'm saving it for something. I don't know what I'm saving it for, which we all do.
Yeah, actually, that's this. So this is Matter Hackers Quantum PLA, and it's called Blue Raspberry, and it's like a dual color, like purple and magenta, and it's the one that I've like. Everybody knows this is like my favorite aesthetically pleasing PLA. But this stuff is like $60 for a 750 gram roll, and it's just like, it's crazy expensive. So for like 3 years, I've been milking this thing and only doing it small.
We just got rated by Polymaker.
Wow.
Hey, thanks for the raid, Polymaker. We appreciate it 100%. You guys have been super supportive, even behind the scenes with us leading up to this. So we appreciate all of the positive energy. Zombie as well. Hopped onto his birthday stream yesterday, and he shouted us out. So it's been like we said before, it's been super receptive, and we appreciate the raid. Appreciate everyone coming to hang out. Just G, what's going on?
Yeah, hey, Just G.
We appreciate all of that, man. We appreciate you guys coming through. Hopefully, it'll be something that you guys want to come back and participate in. And it's really important that you guys are a part of what we're doing. Go ahead, Corey.
So I want to highlight Just G.
Yeah.
That if you guys haven't followed him on YouTube, his some of the stuff that he makes is amazing. He did this.
Definitely hop over to YouTube and follow.
Yeah, he did this venom mask with like this slimy tongue.
Yeah,
that thing was nuts.
Right.
That was the wildest thing I had seen in a long time. So if you are, everybody's on YouTube, so go take a look at Just G, follow him, and the stuff he makes is crazy.
Yeah, he got some really cool stuff.
Yeah. So and then
filament. Back to hoarding filament. Yeah.
Yeah. So one of the things in filament that I have been, and I know I had brought this up with Polymaker a few times over the years, and they've looked into it, and I think now they're actually, and Pezliz and Zombie probably have, much more of the inside scoop on this, but I think is refills. I'm a refill guy, right? I like filament refills because I print a lot of prototype parts. I design a lot of parts and then just reiterate and print and reiterate and print. So I print a lot of just like prototyping black PLA, whether it's bamboo or Polymaker or like I use Polymaker PLA Pro and black to prototype a bunch of stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I have piles of cardboard spools, right, that I don't know what to do with, right? I have no way. I have not found anything to do with them other than recycle them. So I'm more partial to the plastic spools, right? The reusable plastic spools. So, I mean, this is obviously a Bamboo Lab reusable spool. This is not Bamboo Lab filament though. Because what I like to see is that a lot of companies now more companies are coming out with the refills. So this is actually eSun refills. So this is their matte black PLA, and their spools are sized exactly for the Bamboo Lab spools, even with the notch. And I know a lot of companies. I think maybe Sunlu is also doing it. And there's a few other ones. There's a manufacturer in Europe that doesn't ship to the US, but they're doing it as well. And I like seeing this. I like being able to reuse the spool and buy it because this was $11. This 1 kilogram of matte black PLA, and it's $11. So it's cheaper than the bamboo spool. So if you're someone who is cost conscious on your filament, then $11 versus like a $19.99 refill might be something you're into. But I know a lot of everybody I talk to, and I don't know how you guys in the comments are, it seems like it's kind of 50-50, right? Like either people aren't into the refills, they just think they're awful, and then the people like me like them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like there is definitely that line that you have 3 parties, the people who are like wholeheartedly like, I don't want anything to do with that, just give me my plastic spool, and then you have people who are like, I'm cool with cardboard spools, and then you have the people that are like, yeah, I want refills. Like, I think holistically, when I see a refill, like initially when I would see a refill, I'm like, I don't want to have to do that, because if you start a print, now you're locked into that being on the spool until you're done with it. So now you need additional refills, which is fine. But then also for me, because I am a collector, I guess, I have tons of empty spools already. Now I'm not gonna respool any of it, but if I grab the refill, then I probably just go ahead and grab, an empty spool for that refill. But I don't know if I would go down the line of buying refills over the actual color,
Yeah.
and I think it really depends on how much you print. Like you said, you're doing a lot of rapid prototyping, so you're gonna burn through that in like no time. Whereas
I go through hundreds of spools of like black PETG, gray PETG, and then the same 2 basic colors in PLA. So for me, I'll have like I have for black PLA, I have like 6 reusable plastic spools that are varying from bamboo to Sunlu to some other random ones, and a couple that I just printed. And those are literally only set for black PLA. They're labeled black PLA. And I don't really care if it's Sunlu, eSun, or anybody's bamboo filament going on it. But I like the fact that a lot of them, and I think I saw a comment, K2 Kevin said, Protopasta change spool cores to fit bamboo refills as well. So that's what I like to see. And I know it's driven by like one manufacturer that really pushed those reusable spools, but it's nice to see that a lot of manufacturers, or a lot of filament manufacturers, are going to a universal diameter, width, with a notch that fits varying spools. I like to see that. For me, it's easy, so then I don't have to worry about. I've ordered refills in the past that didn't fit anything that I had, so you're always having to print adapters, that fit certain
Which is your
refills.
preferred like refill? Which one do you like?
So actually, right now, I just ordered like 10 of these. Actually 12. I ordered 2 more after. So I just ordered 12 of these eSun refills, black PLA,
Mhm.
just because what I actually have most to put these on are bamboo spools, and they just fit really well. And somebody on Twitter or X actually mentioned this to me, that they fit bamboo spools. I had tried these in the past, the eSun refills, and I think they had a different core because they didn't fit.
Okay.
So I don't know if it's a recent change,
So
but
which spools do you prefer then, out of like all the ones that you have?
I don't know. I don't really think there's
And then why? Do you have like a preference, or is it just
yeah.
like?
I don't really. I think the most reusable spools I have are bamboo,
Okay.
just because everything I order from they're all reusable. But I have some Sunlu reusable spools. I have some reusable spools that I printed,
Mm-hmm.
and they all seem to work fine. So I don't really have a preference, as long as it's easy, right? Like I know the refills I'm using, and I know the spools they're going on, and as long as those don't change all the time, it's not really an issue. And again, obviously, that as long as the filament prints well too. So
So Just G said he likes reusable spools as well. Um,
yeah,
so here's my question: how do you feel
yeah.
that like the barrier to entry? Do you feel like new people would grasp refills, or would they gravitate to what could be considered the easier route, which is just grab on a spool?
So in my opinion, I think that obviously, bamboo has been a champion of entry people, right? Like it's a printer and a company that has really pulled a lot of people into the industry because the ease of use. So when they order a bamboo printer, they're getting deals on bamboo filament. And I have actually talked to new Bamboo Lab people, and it's not just Bamboo Lab. I've heard it with FlashForge, I've heard it with other printers, I've heard it with Creality. There are people that actually thinks that if they buy a bamboo printer, if they buy a certain manufacturer's printer, that it only works with their filament. And I'm like, no, it doesn't. You can use any, it doesn't really matter. But so I think a lot of people that are new into the industry that have a Bamboo Lab printer are probably using Bamboo Lab spools. And if
Yeah.
they use Bamboo Lab spools, hopefully they're aware of the refills, and they can just purchase the refills. And now lately, it seems that a lot of Bamboo Lab filament is out of stock with the spool, but a lot of the filament is in stock as a refill. At least that's been my experience when I go to order. But a lot of this comes back to Polymaker, right? Polymaker being the biggest filament manufacturer. I mean, everybody in the industry knows Polymaker, whether you've used their filament or not. They're everywhere. I've talked to kids at elementary school level, middle school level, and high school level in my area that I'm helping get into 3D printing, and they say they all know Polymaker. They know bamboo machines and bamboo filament, but they all know Polymaker too. So yeah, I would love to see Polymaker. And again, I've heard that they're looking into it again. But I would love to see Polymaker refills for at least the basic popular stuff, right? Like black PETG or black PLA, white and gray, stuff like that. So I don't know, that's where I am. I like refills. And I know like Just She said he likes them too. But and I don't think everything has to be refill, but it's nice to have them available. But
Well, yeah, I don't think they'll ever do it for like all the colors.
yeah,
But it'll definitely be like core colors, black, white, gray, and some of those.
Yeah. Oh, I see Mad Cat's here. Hey, Mad Cat.
We'll definitely be making to those. Yep. Hey, Peekaboo.
Yeah,
Nick.
Peekaboo, Nick. Hey, guys. Thanks for coming. So those of you that, if you just joined, we are just kind of talking about refills, right? Filament refills, whether you like them, whether you don't. Yeah, like I said, it just kind of seems, I like them. Seems kind of 50-50. Steve seems somewhat indifferent to them, right? Like you'll take them or leave them, right? If it's
it would probably be like, oh, if it's matte black, and that would
yeah,
probably be the one that I would use it for, like
yeah,
all the time.
yeah. So yeah, I'm just I like seeing, and I like seeing the uniformity, like the similar spool cores on the refills so that they fit all
Do you
different. But
feel
then
like the uniformity is a concession by other companies to like bowing to bamboo, or do you think it's just
I mean, I
it's
would hope
from the
not.
understand, it's the Google of search, it's
Yeah,
the
like I would hope not, right? Like I don't want it to be about one manufacturer or one company, or um, they're all just conforming to one. I would like to view it as, and this may be not naive, I would like to view it as all the manufacturers are looking towards the consumers and saying, we're just trying to make it easier on the consumer. Now, again, that may be naive. They may be not thinking that at all, and it just may be coincidence that now you're seeing. But I think, like eSun having, and as K2 Kevin said, Protopasta literally changing their refill cores to fit bamboo spools. That they're obviously looking at that, and they're obviously thinking of that, right? Like they must know that there's a vast majority of, or there's a large amount of reusable bamboo spools out there. So for them, I would think, wouldn't it make sense for the company to put out a cost-effective refill that is less expensive than a $20 bamboo refill to go on the bamboo spools? I would, but
well, what about companies that are putting out refills but only for their selected, like they have their own spool and they have their own refills? Is that something that would make you shy away from it because now you have, bamboo, refill, I mean spool,
yeah,
and
if the spools are good, the
Mhm.
refills are good, and the filament prints well, I don't have a problem with it.
Gotcha.
I would buy it, but I would have a preference that even if you have your own spools, that the spools and the cores in the refill are uniform to everybody's size.
Yeah,
So even if you're making like Sunlu makes, they're kind of like this bluish gray spool. It's a dark color.
yeah,
The spools are very good. They're a little bit lighter weight than the bamboo spools because they have large cutouts in them. Um,
okay.
but the spool is good. The reusable spool is good. Like it clicks in good. It holds good. I haven't had one come apart. Um, so but I also think that the new Sunlu spools, I just ordered a couple of their refills. The
Yeah,
old Sunlu refills, the original ones when they first came out, they didn't fit on a bamboo spool. I think someone told me that the new ones do, so I ordered a couple to test it. But so if their new spools are reusable and their new cores are all in line with the size and shape of the bamboo spools, like I said, I think that's good. It doesn't mean that I'm going to have all bamboo spools or all Sunlu spools, but I'd like to have, if I have it, I'd like it to fit, basically, which
so
is asking a lot, I guess. But
as far as the master spool is concerned, do you care about the design of it? Like, does, like you said, the one is lighter, some lose is lighter than the bamboo, and the features of the master spool, like, does
not
any of that
really.
even matter as far as, you know,
Well,
what you pick? Because with higher end filament, with
yeah,
the
I guess, I'd be
advanced
interested
dry
to
and stuff
see.
like that.
It'd be interested to see what the community thinks and what like the people that
Yeah,
are in the chat think, because there is something to a heavier spool, right? Especially if you're
yeah,
printing in an AMS, because there is a thing that when a spool gets low and the weight of the spool and the lower amount of filament on it, that it gets lighter. And it has been known it does it in, I've seen it do it in the bamboo AMS. I've seen it do it in the CFS for the Creality. I actually just had one do it in Anycubic's Cobra 3 combo in their Ace Pro. Is the spool and the filament gets light, and then it starts jumping around. It actually, when it's pulling the filament, it'll pull it out, and then you can have all kinds of issues. And I actually think Zombie, if he's here, if he's still here, I think I remember Zombie talking about either a adapter that he designed or somebody designed where you in the middle of the spool to add weight, right? So you basically, I think it's just I've seen like the desiccant ones, so you just add weight by adding the desiccant in the middle. I've seen people like jam the middle of the spools with like this clay that it can be pulled out and then put in another spool. I've seen ball bearing, 2-inch ball bearing.
Yeah, a lot of people are using that.
So
K2 Kevin says K2 Kevin made one that holds AA batteries. That's pretty smart.
Oh yeah. I mean, and I've seen all kinds of weird stuff because basically it's all just about adding weight to the spool. So to your original question, I guess it could help in certain situations that a more solid spool, like a bamboo spool that is a little bit heavier. And I haven't weighed them. I'll have to actually weigh them to find out the difference in grams between a spool like this or like a Sunloose spool that has larger cutouts.
Yeah.
I would suspect that due to the cutouts that the Sunloose spool is a lot lighter. So I guess with that, if you take that into account, I do like the how sturdy these are, and the weight of them, and they just feel like they're gonna last a long time. Like I've refilled the same spool like 10-15 times, probably maybe more on some of them, and like the snap on the inside isn't like
that's nice. How is it? Is it a snap or what is it?
So it's snap, like you kind of set it together and then it snaps.
Gotcha.
Now I have seen issues with that, is that people don't get it to snap, and then they come apart and it's a bird's nest. So if you are using refills, you really have to make sure that the filaments snap together, or that the spools snap together. But I think Adam just said there is on printables, there is, because I've printed a couple different spools for refills, and I've seen a couple that do actually screw, like Adam said. So they actually, when you stick them, like they're actually threading, and it's quite a lot of threads to get it together. So that might be a little bit more.
I had some what was the company? Not Alien, but they used to have at the 3D printing conventions, they would have like the sample, and you could buy like a box. Like, fill this box, and whatever you fill it with is what you take, and you pay like $50 or something. And so I still have a bunch of them. And so I made like a miniature master spool.
Cool.
Like, and my goal at the time was like to make it as fast as you can. Like it's got to be a quick print and super like easy to assemble, and it's a screw type thing. But so I mean, I understand like that functionality is a big part of, I'll say adaptation. So if you make it easy enough, people will love it. If you make it cool enough, people will love it. But
and if they're just reliable, right? Like if it's reliable, if it holds together. Hey, Bryce's 3D prints. That's wicked cool guy. I follow him on X. Him and I talk all the time. Awesome guy. So if you guys are on X, if you follow Bryce's 3D prints, he'll probably follow you back. But he's a really cool guy. So just wanted to. But anyways, I highlighted the comment that Kevin just made. So he, and I guess K2 Kevin, is that on your model on Thangs? Because it sounds like he's got one that you could fill with pennies, which, I mean, who doesn't have a couple hundred pennies kicking around? Yeah. Oh, Maker World. So, yeah, I'll have to give that a try, because I actually did. It's funny, when Zombie actually talked about that on his stream and he posted about it, the 2-inch ball bearing. At the time, I made a comment under that, like, oh, I've never seen that happen. I've never had that happen. That was Pezlis probably knows better than I do. I think like a month ago, maybe month and a half ago that he posted about that. Since then, it's happened to me 3 times. I was like, I think zombie cursed me because I have never had it happen in an AMS.
Oh man.
And then I made that comment on his post, like, "Oh, that's never happened to me," and now it's happened 3 times. So, yeah,
You jinx yourself, man.
I know. Like
You know better than to ever say never, bro.
Yeah, it's because I have a habit of that, right? Someone will post something on a social and of some odd thing, and I'll be like, "Oh, that's never happened to me," and then sure enough, it bit me in the bottom. Yeah,
Nice.
but yeah, it is Murphy's Law, right? But I don't know. I think I kind of beat refills to death. Everybody knows I like them, but I like to see what everybody in the community thinks about it. So, hit me or Steve up on all the socials about refills. If you see it around, Mojee's Law. Okay, that yeah. If you speak about it, it will happen.
Right.
So yeah, if you guys are interested in talking about refills, or if you see some company that is making refills, tag me in it, make a post about it. I'd like to see, because I'm trying to figure out all the different companies that make refills. I think Cox3D used to make them, but I don't think they make them anymore. I tried looking on their site and I couldn't find them, but I did find one that I hadn't heard of, but I can't remember the name of it. But it's apparently they don't ship to the US, so I'd have to ship them to like.
I've seen some of the companies kind of start shifting product to being made in the US.
Yeah.
One of my ones that I've never purchased but was looking forward to is Filamentum. They have like Voodoo, their Voodoo line that looks amazing, and they're starting to make like some of that stuff here in the States. So
I hear a lot of good things about them. I have had a couple spools of their filament, just like basic PLA, like a blue and a red or something. And it was so long ago that I don't really remember, but I have heard good things about them.
Yeah, it should be pretty cool.
So Additive Adam says, I printed a respooler this month for a TPU HueForge project I am doing for Remerve. Used all my spare Bamboo Master spools. Cool.
Yeah,
so I will find out more about it. I won't make it. He probably doesn't want to let the cat out of the bag today, because now I'm curious.
Make sure you stop by his table. I'm not sure what part of the Remerve that he's in.
Yeah,
but make sure you stop by. Adam's a good friend of mine, so stop by and check out his table. He's doing some cool stuff. He's a HueForge ambassador over in Polymaker as well. K2 Kevin is a HueForge. K2 Kevin is a Maker Chip ambassador over on the Polymaker Discord as well. So those guys know their stuff.
And everybody in here is probably already part of the Polymaker Discord, but if you're not, go, because it's pretty cool. I have been really busy, and I haven't been going to like the night hangouts and stuff, but that's another way that I kept in touch with Kevin, and I got to know Additive Adam and a bunch of other people who Pezlas is in there a lot, and K2 Kevin's in there, and so many other people what is it? Danny's in there a lot. Pete. So Joel's in there like all the time. I think the guy works like 19 hours a day.
Or something.
Yeah. So it's if you're in their Discord, if you participate in the nightly hangouts and stuff, they're pretty fun. You guys go till like, I've seen people in there at 2 a.m.
Hey. That's East Coast time.
Yeah. There's
a lot of great people there. And a couple of HueForge Discord is also pretty awesome. Hang out there as well, and but yeah, if you're ever looking for some people late at night talking about 3D printing or like anything else in the world, jump into the Polymaker Discord. There's always people there. It's a good place to, like, if you're still trying to learn some stuff about 3D printing. You have all varieties of experts in there. You have people who build borons and rat rigs and bug boos, giant bug boos. Frankenbee, he's built a giant bug boo It's,
That's
it's
cool.
like the size of a deep freezer or something. So yeah, it's a lot of cool people in there.
Yeah, K2 Kevin says, I always want to go in there at 1 a.m., but I know that will turn into to 3 a.m. real quick. It is
Oh, it will. It will.
the Polymaker Hangout Discords are like a time suck. Like you'll get in there at like 9 p.m. and next thing you know, it's like midnight, and
Right.
it felt like 20 minutes.
Right.
There's some wild conversations that happen in there. But so the other thing that we had actually talked about on our test stream, remember a few nights ago when we did one of our test streams, or just thing, we talked about the Solval Zero, right? Because you were interested in it, and
That's
I
right.
got one, and it was kind of so. It was weird. I didn't want to buy one, right? I was like, I don't need a Solval Zero because I just sold 2 of the Voron V0s that I had built over the years that I just wasn't using, so I sold it. So I was like, I don't need one, but I have an addiction and a problem, so I ordered one anyways, right? So after ordering it, I had like buyer's remorse. And I was like, after like 30 days, they hadn't shipped it yet. So I was like, I reached out to them and I was like, cancel my order, right? And they're like, she responds back. This lady responds back and she's like, oh, it just shipped. And I was like, I apologize because I was like, oh, please don't think that me wanting to cancel it was because I wanted you to ship it faster. I'm like, I literally had buyer's remorse because I was like, I was seeing everybody I knew that got one and they had received it.
Yeah.
And I was like, geez, it's a novelty printer, right? Like it's cute and it's neat and it's built really well, has a lot of cool stuff on it, but it's a novelty printer and I'm just gonna set it on my rack and print a benchy on it for a test print and then never touch it again. But I got it, and I do like that it's 150 by 150, so it is bigger than the V0. It is fast. It's built like a tank. It's volume-wise, it's got to be the heaviest printer of that size. It's bigger than a Voron V0. Like when it's set, like right now, it's set next to a P1S, in between 2 P1Ss. And it's not that much smaller, which is crazy considering it's 100 millimeters cubed smaller. But it's tall. So, but it's actually quite fun. It prints really well. It levels in like 2 seconds because of the eddy sensor, which it's only 150 by 150. So how long is it going to take anyways? But the eddy sensor, literally, it literally scans the entire bed. Like you don't even need adaptive bed mesh because it can scan the entire bed in 2 seconds. It is loud because it prints fast, so it's got an auxiliary fan. I
got a K1, so
nothing's loud. Yeah, but it's equally as loud as my K1.
Okay, all right.
And it's got an auxiliary fan that blows towards the door. So if you open the door and have a toupee on, it's probably going to suck it right off your head. But it's a good. I'm glad I didn't cancel it because it's a fun little printer, and I had to. Everybody on all socials were like coloring their Voron because it's fully open source. So
that's part of the reason why I want it.
So the CAD files are open. So everybody went in and like reprinted all of the blue exterior parts.
3D&T, they got theirs. They're doing the same thing, turning theirs purple.
So so I obviously did it purple because if I didn't do it purple, so on X, if you guys follow Black Label or Everlasting Media are like the 2 crazy purple guys that everything is purple. So I did mine. Actually, I did the outside pieces in the dynamic PLA from Zero, that purple that we were talking about at the beginning of the stream. Yeah.
Nice.
So I did all that. The tool head, I'm going to do it in just like a black polycarbonate. But so yeah, I think it's worth it because I know you said you were interested in getting one.
I am.
So I think it's worth it. I'm going to use it as, because the hot end goes to 350 and the bed goes to 120, and it is an enclosed chamber, and it's pretty sealed. The internal temperature should be able to heat up pretty good. I think I've seen people say that it heats up to like 65, 70 degrees C without a chamber heater because it's so small. So I'm basically going to use it to print nylon parts, nylon polycarbonate, stuff like that. And just, like one-off, like I do a lot of like prototyping of like small brackets and stuff. That end up getting printed in nylon, all that stuff. So I might just use it to print those first one-off parts to test, just because then I don't, like we talked about it too, is that a lot of times when I do that type of stuff, I'll print a small part and I'll print it on whatever printer's available, right? Like one time, I think I told you, I threw one of those small parts in nylon on my Qidi XMAX 3, which is 330 by 330. And then the second I printed it, it did the first layer. And then I realized that I had a time sensitive large print that I needed to print, and it had to go on that XMAX 3. And if I had the 0, I would have thrown it on that instead. So that's kind of what I'm going to use it for, is just small parts that need fast prototyping for fast printing to test it. And then I don't have to take up one of my bigger printers. But
that's kind of why I want it as well as something to have for like, traveling. Granted, I have the A1 Mini, which is cool, but it's not like contained. So you have to be careful, how, like when I took it to Murph, like my son was getting out of the van and like kicked it. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Like, so.
And I mean, the cool thing about the 0, it's heavy, but if you could print you could design and print like a handle on the top that mounts. But the top glass plate, it is the top mounts actually like kind of snap in and hold it. So you have to flip the pieces out in order to pull it off. So that would hold it in place while you're moving it, and then you could like design some little latch thing for the door. That way you don't pull an Uncle Jesse when you're moving it around.
No,
because it is glass.
I'm gonna let him live. I'm pretty sure he catches enough flack for the glass door.
Yeah,
I'm gonna give him a pass.
I think it's more of like a badge of honor now, though. Like,
is it?
Yeah, I mean, he
my K1's right here, and the number of times that I'm like, I open the door, and I'm like, all right, let me make sure not to like bang against this door before I break it.
Smash it off.
I think his era has kind of like helped everyone else not make that mistake. But then also,
clumsy Clayton. Peekaboo says clumsy Clayton.
One of those things that I guess he'll never forget until someone else does something that tops that.
The reason why I like Uncle Jesse so much is that he showed that, right? Like,
yeah, absolutely.
I don't think I'm not sure that all or even a lot of creators would have showed that, right? They might have like talked about it to say,
I don't know, man. The content itself is gold.
Yeah, but the look on his face, his eyes were priceless on that. Like I was dying. I just like that he showed it. So, in that spirit of showing your mistakes or showing your showing something as a content creator when you're making a video, did you happen to see the post by eSun on X or on their socials? I think it was on X. So basically it was eSun's like rainbow silk filament, and it was printing like an F1 or like an Indy car vertically. And during the ad that they posted, the print fails, right? So it starts printing, and then on the top, one of the wheels just fails and it kind of spaghettis, but the print completes. And they pulled it off and pulled off the spaghetti in the video, it's kind of sped up. And then they showed the part with the half printed wheel. And a whole bunch. Karen says it was on a live stream. I don't know. I only saw the ad, but a lot of people were going at them about in the comments about and reposting it saying, why would you put that as an ad, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's a mistake. Why wouldn't you reprint it and then make the ad with a successful print? Me, I was like, I thought that was kind of cool, right? Like, I thought it was, yeah, like, I mean, we all live in 3D printing and we have failed parts. So I was like, you know, I thought it was neat and kind of refreshing. Yeah. I thought it was neat and kind of refreshing that they showed that. But everybody else was like, oh, it's bad marketing and all this stuff. And I thought it was cool, but I don't know if anyone in the comments saw it. Karen said she thinks it was part of a live stream, so they probably just took that footage after the fact. But I guess if everybody already saw it on the live stream, then why not use it? Maybe that was their thought. But hey, Polymaker Pete's here.
Yeah, he is. Polymaker Pete. What's going on, man?
What up, Pete?
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. We all own our mistakes. It's probably a better way for them to show an association with the community. Like, hey, look, this happens to everybody. It's not like it's something that uncommon.
Yeah, like, I mean, I've been doing this for. I started getting into 3D printing in 2009, and it was 2 years after. So Adrian Boyer, who everybody knows is like the godfather of RepRap, in 2007, back when I was in college, he did this talk on what was called Pop Tech at the time. It was kind of like I don't even know if TED Talk was out at that time, but he did a talk about RepRap, and it was, if you go back and look at it now, so it's from 2007. It's called Pop Tech, and it's Adrian Boyer's like initial video talk about RepRap, and the beginning of the video, the whole talk about it was like, oh, it prints it disperses plastic layer by layer on a flat surface. That's how it goes. Yeah, but that was basically how I got into it, and I've been doing it for a long time, and I still have failed prints, right? Like, and that's okay. You forget to wash a plate off. I don't know, all kinds of things.
Wash the plates. Hold on, I've heard that.
Yeah. You forget to clean the plate off. You forget to put down some adhesive. Yeah, I don't know, whatever. There's all kinds of reasons. But prints fail. I just thought it was neat. Like Bryce's 3D prints. He thought it was neat too. But I don't know. And then again, that's more of like a marketing thing than a 3D printing thing. But I just thought it was kind of cool that they.
It probably was also maybe. I'll assume that it was probably people who aren't like that familiar with the process, and know that, like, hey, a lot of times you're gonna fail a lot, and sometimes you're gonna fail big at like 90%.
Yeah. Like
so
that. I mean,
it's not uncommon. The technology's gotten a lot better. Slicing's gotten like way better.
Yeah.
It's just a part of the game. You don't throw your good filament at a new print, or at least for me, sorry about that. You don't throw it at a new design until you've tested it out. It's like, I'm not gonna waste my cookie CAD, dark magic on something until I've tested that print out. So
you never test like a first print with $55 filament. You print that with like $10 Amazon filament.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so this is kind of funny. Like, I noticed this. So Pete says about the content creators like putting their thing, and I remember that happening, and I was like, it was like, I thought somebody did like a little snippet of like, and they had like a McDonald's burger in their hand, and their hands were all greasy, and they were like rubbing it all over the print bed, and then like sending a print, and it, like, just because it's funny how like you joked, and you were obviously you were joking, like, oh, you got to wash the plates, because I work with a lot of like middle schoolers and high schoolers that are getting into 3D printing, and adults, and a lot of times I'll get like 9 p.m. on a Saturday a message on a social, or they'll text me and they'll say nothing will stick to the bed, and I'm like, wash it with some of your mom's dish soap and some hot water and it'll be fine. and then they'll do that, and then it'll stick. But yeah, I always tell people, like, if you get a new printer, even new out of the box, I always wash them before I ever print anything, because I don't trust anybody. So I'm
just
like,
gonna say this: you're better than me because I don't.
you don't wash them?
I don't follow any of the rules.
Yeah.
I touch my bed religiously
Yeah.
all the time.
You just like rubbing your hands all over.
I'm like wax on, wax off, but without the wax. It's just straight. Like, let me see how much I can touch on this this bed.
How much hand grease can I get on this plate and it's
how much hand grease
successfully?
I'm drawing faces on it, letting it know that I'm happy with it. I'm drawing smiley faces on the bed, and then I give it like a little smooch.
Yeah, you're drawing like the kids do on the windows in a car. You're drawing like smiley faces and then like breathing on it.
It's amazing.
More oil.
You gotta love your printer. You can't just you can't, printers need love too. You gotta give it some love. So make sure to, first of all, if you're not boiling your printer, I don't know, or your bed, I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of loving your printers, I mean, I spent a month disassembling the GDX Max 3 to its smallest nuts and bolts, only so that I could paint it to look like Fallout. And everybody's like, "Why'd you do that?" And I'm like, I don't know, like, no reason, just because I could.
Who said it? Was it Black Label?
No, everybody has seen it. It's always nice, but I guarantee somebody's. I guarantee Fallout. I guarantee, and it didn't affect the functionality of the print, right? It's 100% functional already, but yeah, I guarantee someone's like, "Why would you do that?" Right? It's a tool. It's like branding your.
They're probably not in the community. They're like, "Why would you do that to a humidor? What is this humidor that you made look like a Fallout?"
I could just see that. Somebody's probably like, would you Fallout theme a DeWalt chop saw? Like. Yes, I probably would.
Why would you make a Fallout 3 wine cooler fridge? Why would you do that?
Yes, Polymaker Pete is correct. You can anneal prints in boiling water. Well,
see?
Like 200. Right. What is it? 208 degrees is boiling, or 212, something like that. But
he's a madman.
Yeah, so I don't know. I just all of that. But anyways, wash your beds, kids.
Wash your beds.
Wash your beds, children.
Oh, okay. Let's talk about the index.
Yes,
the index, man. That is.
So, before we go to the index, though, did anybody here have the Solval Zero? Nobody in the comments mentioned that they had one. Does anybody have one? Nope. No. So, again, I just wanted to see your opinion on it. Nobody mentioned it. I'm guessing if you had one, you would have said something. But so now we can move on to the Bondtech Index. Yeah. So I actually learned the other day that the IN in index stands for induction, because the reason why their tool heads are heating up so fast is because they heat in like 3 seconds. So they must be taking it from like 130 degrees to like 220.
I mean, induction
in 3 seconds. Yeah. So and it's the same principle, right? So you know how those coils where they put over a piece of metal and it heats that metal to orange in like seconds. So that's the technology they're using in this. So it's what they're using is not new technology, but it's never been used like this. So it was really cool, but I didn't know what the IN stood for until
the IN stood for. But when they first showed it and showed how fast it was switching, that was my assumption, was that it was using induction.
Yeah.
Just because how else would you be able to do it with such a small print head?
Yeah. So one of their engineers, there was a quote from him that said, it was a question, I guess, that the Bondtech product manager asked the team when they were trying to conceptualize all this. They said, "Why do we heat up a wire to heat up cement, to heat up a capsule, to heat up a heat block, to heat up a nozzle, to melt plastic, right? So when you see someone asking that question, it kind of shows how but how inefficient really that the whole
that is insane. You don't think of it that way, but that is what's happening.
So they said after that product manager, and again they didn't give the person's name, asked that question, somebody came up with this induction, and they actually ordered, like, just off the internet, some random induction heater to see what it did, and tested it, and we're like, oh, that's cool, we should do that. And I guess it is
definitely like amazing in a sense of like, it's not new science, they're not like reinventing the wheel, and it's just like just from sheer thinking and thinking outside of the box, they came up with something really cool. And I'm not saying that they were the first. I'm pretty sure someone else in their garage probably came up with the same idea.
Well, so someone actually made a comment that there was somebody in the 3D printing community that a number of years ago, like 5 years ago, basically came up with this exact same idea. Obviously they probably didn't have the backing or the financial chops that someone like Bontech does. Hey, Cookie Cat, how you doing?
Hey, Cookie Cat.
An induction cooktop. Yeah, I've wanted to actually try one of those. But can you really like put your pot on it, heat it, take it off, and put your hand on it? You always see that in like the commercials for those induction cooktops. Yeah, that was one of my that was an ADHD moment right there. It was kind of a squirrel. Took me off on a thing, but
it's called Unspooled. It's not called Unspooled.
So, actually, for full disclosure, on for everybody watching, so when we were trying to come up with a name for this, and actually Steve came up with Unspooled, and the second I saw it, I was like, yes, that's it, because we were like trying to come up with that. We were like, Unspooled is like, what was that show back in the day? Unhinged, Unplugged. Yeah, Unplugged, and then we were just trying to come up with like a 3D printing community-esque way of saying that this was just going to be some off-the-cuff, free-for-all fun type of thing. And I think it'll be even more fun once we start inviting guests onto the show. So, that's going to be a lot of fun. So everybody stay tuned, because we're going to be reaching out to you guys through DM in whatever way we can. And if you're
as well.
And if you're interested as a maker or a 3D printer or whatever you do, you work for a company, if you're interested in coming on, reach out to us, because we'd love to have you on and fire some questions at you and let you talk about what you do and who you are. So
and it's not going to be like a whole hour, maybe like 20 minutes. Just letting you guys talk about whatever you're working on. If you got a cool project coming up and you're trying to get some traffic for it, or get some people to test it out or whatever, let us know, and we'll see what we can do. We're going to try to do this every week. We'll see how that goes. Hopefully we don't get tired of each other anytime soon. But it's gonna be
Steve kicks me to the curb.
Right.
Yeah. So Cookie Cat says they'll let us know tomorrow. So if they burn their hand, I'm sorry.
Right.
And that was about the.
And they said that come on if we'd have them. So yeah.
Oh, awesome! Yeah, we would love to have you guys.
This is the second time I picked my water up and didn't drink it.
Yeah, I actually got water and then realized I got water in the noisiest water bottle that could possibly exist. It's like one of those, like you tip it up and it's like you have to suck the water out of it. And I was like, I can't have that.
Yeah, I don't want to see that. So
it's
fair enough.
So I gotta get something with like a straw.
Right. Just get a camel pack.
Yeah. Just like I'll mount it to like my headset so it comes
down. Yeah, it's right there on the side.
Yeah. Yeah, Pezlis says pro streamer. That I am not.
Right.
So, okay. So is anybody here? I mean, everybody here is probably interested in the Bontech index, right? Like if you're not, I mean,
a lot of people, even if you don't have a that type of machine. The technology itself is cool enough that like it and it's super inexpensive. I'll say super inexpensive. It's going to be like relatively inexpensive.
Yeah, I think they said for the tool head it was like $250 or something like that, and then it was like $45,
something like that. Yeah, dude.
Yeah. That is crazy cheap.
It is a game changer in the sense of like very similar to how bamboo disrupted the 3D printing industry.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be big in the sense of it's going to make switching filament a lot easier and a lot faster. And
well, I think it opens up tool changing for a lot of people that probably wouldn't have it before, right? So right now, if you have a tool changer, you can either build one, like a stealth changer with a Voron, build your own, or you have to purchase something like a Prusa XL.
Yeah.
And both of those, for different reasons, are out of reach for a lot of people, right? Like they're not going to build a Voron. They're not. They don't even want to, or they don't know how to build a stealth changer. And then they can't afford a Prusa XL. So to have something that's accessible, supposed to be easy to install on a printer, and cost effective, like that is a game changer. Like that's huge. I mean, to have they had it on I think, didn't they have it on a Voron V0 and it had like 5 colors?
Yeah. But and there's really no limitation to, I mean, outside of, the space that you have.
Yeah.
There's no limitation. So
I mean, I've seen it.
I've seen it. Dream right there,
Yeah. Like to have 4 colors on a V0, or I think they said you could fit like 8 or 9 on an SV08 or like and it's like, I have an SV08 that never gets used.
Listen, I think they need to holler at Mitch and let's see how many, how many colors can we get on Mitch's back for the next big 3D convention.
I mean, you admit, poor little Mitch is going to be walking around like an SV08 strapped to his back with like nine tool heads.
Right.
Hey, Ajax 3D bearded printer.
Hey, Ajax.
How you guys doing? Actually, we were also talking on our test stream about Ajax's TD1. Oh, it's upside down. Sorry. Because we were talking about the new 9.0 beta release and the 8. Whatever the one before. But this for me, and I am not like, I bought the lifetime commercial like good Polymaker deal when HueForge first came out. You got like the $175 coupon for Polymaker. So I was like, that's a no-brainer, right? So I bought it. Mm-hmm. And I have to admit that I am by far not an expert in HueForge. I can get it done, but I'm nowhere near probably even what you were at, Steve, the level, or definitely what like Adam or Danny and all them are able to do. But I will say,
yes, it is Cookie Cat. It is the I'm sorry, real quick. These are the Cookie Cat TD1s. Boom, boom.
Oh yeah. So
for these for Ajax actually. And
but this thing was a game changer, though.
Got him.
This was a game changer for me because the biggest thing that I didn't like about HueForge when I first had it was getting all the filament in there, right? Like the filament that I own, getting them in there, getting the TD values in, all that. After manually having to enter that in, I did it. I did like 10 of them, and then I never touched HueForge for like 3 months after that. I love it. I love what it can do. But when I got this, and I actually won this on Pezliz's stream.
Nice.
And this thing is a game changer. I love this. This makes HueForge so much easier.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I use it in general, dude. Like
oh yeah, like, you said for inventory.
For inventory, so like if I get a new roll, take it out to and actually I have like this bungee like arm back here. I literally put that into the bungee. It fits right into like the little phone holder part, and I have it over by my machine. I pull a roll down, I slide it through, and log the value, hop over to the computer, plug it in, and then I use it, and I'll take and pull the database, and I just use that just in general because I like to know how translucent or how opaque the filament is, because sometimes I'll use filament together even outside of HeatForge to kind of like make certain colors or make certain hues of colors.
Yeah.
Just keeping in mind, like, oh, okay, if I put, and to me, that's the biggest thing is that knowing how many layers of, white do I need to make something that, is semi-translucent or whatever.
Yeah,
Like,
that makes sense.
let's see. Like I was working on some like Black History heat
Oh, those
forges,
are cool.
and here's one. This one was just all black and white, and then I added in some gray for one, just to kind of like get that color.
The shading. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I mean it's super handy, just in general, TD1 wise, just to have them. And when you think about how far Ajax has come with that product over the like last few years, it's just crazy.
Yeah, and he said he did a comment. He said he might have an announcement tomorrow. So maybe something with the TD1 or
maybe something with the TD1.
I know this
right around the corner. If you go there, go stop by the HeatForge booth. Those guys are great.
Because he does have the smaller versions now, right? Like
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, I thought they were like a little smaller version.
I have no clue.
Maybe that's the announcement. I thought somebody had told me something about a new version coming out, which would be cool. But I don't know. This is pretty small. I like this one too.
Yes. Okay. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a small version. It looks pretty cool.
Tech Jeepers.
I mean, I do know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. Like Daddy Wazzy. Hey, how you doing, bud? He says game changer TDs. Yes. I agree.
Daddy Wazzy loves his TDs.
Yeah, Daddy Wazzy, you'll be proud of me. My wife and I started watching soccer or football.
He will be proud of you.
Yeah, he's a big soccer fan. So, and the reason why is this is funny. We are starting to watch soccer because I've always liked soccer, but I know nothing about it. But my wife is a big fan of Ted Lasso, the TV show on Apple TV. And so she was like, we got to start watching soccer because of literally Ted Lasso, the TV show. So I'm going to start watching football.
Oh, no. Don't do that.
Soccer. I got to find a team, though. I don't have a team.
It'd be probably 2 or 3.
Yeah, I need Daddy Wazzy. I need like a late night Polymaker hangout chat with you and me so that you can explain soccer to me, because I don't know anything about the rules. Nothing. I know they score, they don't score. Everybody's like
touchdowns and home runs.
Manchester United.
Pretty good.
Everybody, like, obviously, Manchester United. Everybody knows that.
Yeah, they're sliding. There's 7-10 split. It's cool, man. You should really watch soccer.
Yeah, they're like yellow card, red card. I'm like, I don't know what any of that means. But
no cards. You can draw 4. It's awesome. Soccer is sweet, man.
I will find out though. I will become by this time next year I'll be a soccer expert.
Yeah.
Probably not, but
I won't.
Yeah. So is anybody here going to buy the Bondtech Index when it becomes available?
Well, they open testing for it.
So the beta testing, but every time they make a post and they're like, oh, what do you want to hear about or what do you want to know more about the index? I'm like, I just want to know when I can buy it. Like,
yeah, I think that's what everybody wants.
Yeah, like I just want to buy it.
When Nero interviewed them last week.
Yeah, when they were all in Sweden.
Sometime later this year.
Nice.
Like fall or something potentially. But,
that'd be cool.
Yeah, it would be sweet.
Not sure nobody would.
What people do with it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I want to see what machines they put it on.
Yeah, that's gonna be cool. And what machine can you put it on? You know what I mean? Not only what machines they put it on, but like how far can you go with it? Because he was saying, like, oh, you can put it on the best thing. So I know that somewhere out there, someone's already working on like the mod to, install it on, whatever, Ender 3 Pro. Wink. Because that's what I'm doing with it when I get it. I'm putting it on Ender 3 Pro because that's where it deserves to be, on the Hall of Fame. You don't put it on, something like I don't know, a Voron. Why would you do that? You put it on an Ender 3.
Why would you put it on a Voron?
Why would you put it on a Voron? It doesn't make sense. Put it on an Ender 3 where it deserves to be. That's how I feel about it. Yeah. Matter of fact, let me write Bondtech real quick. I'll be right back.
Yeah, you're gonna be the Ender 3 beta tester.
That's right, man.
Bondtech
Index.
Right. I want it on any printer. Like I don't care what it goes on. Like I have an SV08. I'm gonna put it on that. I'll put it on the Voron V0 or the Solvol Zero. I'll put like 4 colors on that. I'll put it on everything I can put it on.
I'm putting it on my Tivo Tornado as well. Back there. That's it right there.
So did Ajax just say what I think he said? Was that the Tico? Like the TIKO? That old Kickstarter printer? Do you remember? Do you ever see that one? Like the glass, like the plastic clear bottom with the white top. I actually I never got mine.
Oh, did you back it and not get it?
Yeah, I backed it. Yeah. What a terrible idea that was. Yeah, I never got one. I never got it.
Right. Oh yeah, the Delta.
Yeah, it was like a white kit and it was clear on the bottom. And like I remember when it released, everybody was like, "Oh, that's so cool." It was awful. They actually did produce some. I think Nero has one. He picked one up somewhere.
I've seen one before, like in a while, but yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, Down Under Maker says Nero. Yeah,
that's insane.
Yeah, but I just don't think it ever worked. I don't even know if Nero ever got it printing. I know he had a stream on it after he got it. I just don't know if it ever worked. In Index Positron. Now that would be interesting. How would you do that?
Yeah.
I mean, if anybody can do it, those guys can do it because they're insane. But that would be pretty cool. And any printer. But yeah.
Honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing a bigger positron. Like the small version of it has been done. Like I wouldn't mind seeing like not necessarily like something like ridiculously big, but like
so.
What are the upper limits? Where would you push it to that it's still portable and like collapsible, but it's a briefcase printer now instead of a filament box printer?
Yeah, so I think it was. I don't remember if it was Nathan. It might have been Nathan. So it's one of the guys on the Positron thing. They did make a post a little while ago, a few weeks back, about something in the works.
Oh, nice.
So I don't know if that means a new printer. I thought it was something about something new, a new printer coming out. I'll have to check up on that. They would be cool to have on the stream because they're cool guys. They're doing a lot of neat stuff. Nomad's Galaxy there. They're always doing something wild. Yeah, Tech Cheaper says Nomad would be down.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he's a good guy. Daddy Wazzy says, "What is insane is my Fallout printer." So I appreciate that, and it was a lot of fun to make, and I still look at it every day because I like it. I still play Fallout 4. Actually, my son and I were playing that a couple weeks ago.
Oh yeah, TechGP, you can join for the eye candy.
Yeah.
We need it. We know. Cool. Yeah. Anybody printing with any cool filaments? Any new companies or? And I'm not talking about like the.
Now, are you talking?
I'm not talking about like the Amazon new companies because there's like 78 different
random.
Yeah.
So are you talking U.S.?
Yeah, let's go U.S.
Anybody?
US. If anyone's using any new product from U.S. companies or companies that have a foothold in the United States, I'll say that, or in Canada as well. There's a couple in Canada that are really nice. Right now, I think next on my list is Polar, but I'll probably just hold out till Murph because they had a huge stable at Murph last year.
Yeah, I've been trying to order Polar, but I need some of their 64D TPU. I need it in black and orange, but they've been out of it for a while. So down under maker says cinnamon, so that's the go-to in Australia. I've never heard of Eureka.
Yep, I heard of Eureka.
Oh wait, I think I did. That was the one from Nova Scotia. I think you talked about that on your stream or a stream.
Techkeeper got the polar filament metal spool.
Yeah, I think it must have been the post I saw from him. Somebody had it on an AMS light.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
I mean, it's got to be heavy. It's got to be really heavy.
I don't know if you know Gulsifer, but he actually bought a metal spool recently as well. I'm not sure. I think it was from Esun, or it might have been like Esun or like Sunleaf. I think it was Sunleaf's metal spool. It's cool. I wouldn't necessarily get one, but it looks like if you're doing a sweet looking machine, I can see that being awesome. Or if you have something that really needs to be heated up, and dried out thoroughly, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, well, you could. I mean, because you wouldn't have to worry about. I know. What is it? Something the other day I was putting in, and it said right on the spool, because obviously a lot of them say like don't exceed 70 C if you're drying them, because the glue that holds the cardboard spools together will soften and the spool will come apart. I've never had it happen, but anyway. So TechCheaper says the metal spool is refillable. That's nice. Yeah. So
what are you printing in Fiberon? Nick says he's printing in PA6GF.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I love nylon. I love all kinds of nylon, like especially the glass fiber.
I'm not that cool yet.
Yeah, stuff. It's just. I mean, if you're printing anything that needs like any type of like strength with flexibility, nylon is like. We print a lot of. I print a lot of nylon gears for my son's robotics team. Yeah. And previously they were printing gears out of PLA and then PETG, and they would just obliterate. So they'd have to bring like 6 or 7 backups to all the FRC matches. So we started printing them in nylon, and game changer, big difference. So the TechCheaper on the metal spool, does it snap together or does it like spin together, thread together?
I wouldn't be surprised if it had like screws
or screws. Yeah, I guess it could screw together. I'll have to get one because I've seen them, and I think Mojee3D has them too, but I'll have to look because I like their filament.
I haven't used it. Their filament yet.
And I did like I have always liked 3D Max, but I got the last 2 spools I got from them. Something's not right. They're not printing well.
I have a whole shelf of 3DX tech that I love for was it Christmas or Thanksgiving, Black Friday. They had a sale, and they have a formula that's similar to one that was sold at Joann's when Joann had filament, and they had the little Kodak there. And so once I found them, I was like, okay, cool. You got some colors that I really like. So 3DX Tech is pretty cool. I've mentioned it to a couple people, and they bought rolls of it and seem to like it as well. They're based out of Michigan, I believe.
Yeah, I print a lot of their. They do a lot of stuff with Vision Miner.
Nice.
I print a lot of their PETG carbon fiber and their polycarbonate.
I still have Polaroid filament that I actively use.
They sold that.
I assumed it was like Kexel or KXL or whatever.
Yeah,
I think I assumed that's who makes all of the random filaments. But yeah. I still have some of it.
TechCheaper said that the metal spool has M4 screws, and that it weighs like 10 pounds. So I was shocked that the picture of that somebody had it on the AMS light at that weight. You'd think it would pull that spool right off the light.
Yeah.
Because I mean, there's not a whole lot of force it takes to snap one of those out.
The I'm like both of my A1 and my A1 Mini are both top mounted, and I think I've only ever had like one spool fall off
Yeah,
ever,
yeah,
and that was one that I don't think I put on completely. But I haven't had any issues. But also, there's a ton of mods for like
yeah,
spool holders for the A1.
yeah. I've
The
seen a
AMS
lot of
Lite.
the. I've seen a few of the enclosures on the A1
Yeah,
the AMS
some
Lite.
enclosures.
They have like snap-on covers where you can slide them in and then put the covers on with like
There's a
desiccant
few
inside.
that like you disassemble the clamp part of it and like remove some pieces, and then you build this like contraption that like allows you to put the spool on it, and then you can like twist lock it onto it. I'm like,
Yeah,
that's cool. That's a lot more than what I want to do,
yeah,
but like that's
yeah. I
cool.
think for what most people use the A1 for with the AMS Lite, it's probably not needed, but
Yeah, yeah,
it's pretty cool to have if you do want to use it.
yeah,
That's why I like the community
yeah.
upgrades and stuff that people do. It's pretty cool.
Oh man,
Uh,
by far.
oh, so Ajax says he still has some Hatchbox that's like 4 years old. I just printed a little adapter for my son's mic, just to make it taller.
Hmm.
And well, actually, I was using it last week, so it's like a little Razer mic. But I printed like a 2-inch adapter to raise the height, and I printed it with Hatchbox Black PLA, and that spool has been sitting open on a shelf with a tiny bit of filament left on it for like 8 years.
Oh
And
no,
I pulled it out, put it on a P1S, and it printed perfect. And
I don't
that's
believe.
this. I swear it was sitting, and it was perfectly fine. It wasn't even brittle. It didn't snap. It just printed, and it printed perfect. I have the part around here somewhere. So when I first got it, well, when I first got into 3D printing, the only thing that existed was ABS, anyways. But Hatchbox was one of the first ones that you could just buy anywhere, and they had it on Amazon. And Hatchbox was the best. It was everywhere, and it printed so good. They had this Hatchbox cool gray PLA, and I used to print everything in that cool gray, and I loved it, and it printed really well. And I've actually noticed they've been pretty active. For years I hadn't seen anything about them. Right, you never heard about them. They weren't posting on socials, but
Have they spun that around? I know that they have like people now doing live streams on like Facebook. I mean, not Facebook,
yeah,
on
Instagram.
Instagram. Yeah,
Yeah,
which I was impressed to see.
yeah,
Here's my thing. I don't think a lot of people know. Like Hatchbox has some cool TPU filament,
yep,
and like the colors that they have in TPU are like next level. You
yeah.
know?
And their filament is great. And
Yeah.
I have been seeing them being more active on Instagram. And I can't remember the guy's name um, that does their socials, but he's always doing these lives on Instagram. So it was awesome to see them kind of back at it,
Yeah,
because
that's cool. I
I think
mean,
for a lot
here's
of
the
years people thought they shut down, but
I always joke. My joke is Hatchbox is the filament that people buy you when they buy you a 3D printer,
yeah,
and that's usually the only time that you have Hatchbox
yep,
is when someone buys you. You know, like oh, and like they did a great job of like infiltrating the Amazon list of like filament because
yeah.
like Hatchbox was a lot of people's first filament. Um,
Yeah, because I remember when the Monoprice
Really select.
Select Mini and
Yeah,
the Delta.
I still have mine, man. I love that
Yeah,
machine.
I had one of each of those, and
Yeah.
everybody I knew that had one of those two machines, their first filament that went on it was a roll of Hatchbox.
Was a roll ahead. I don't know
Everybody.
what they did,
Yeah,
but they cornered that market and was like the first roll that everyone had for a lot of people.
yeah, yeah. It was all over the place, but I'm glad to see them back because their stuff actually prints really well. But I'll
I
have
mean,
to
it's
look
cool
because
just to see all the different companies in general because, you know, competition is great. I think honestly, if you are a new company or an up and coming company, in the filament thing, like the basic colors are cool, but I think if you go after niche colors is where it's at. I think that's where you'll thrive the most. Is like You know, everybody
Yeah.
can like, black, red, blue, green. All of those are cool. But
Like
if you have
a
like the unique stuff, I think people, will gravitate towards that kind of stuff.
dual silk purple and magenta. Wink, wink, polymaker. I can't wink, but that's a, so.
Yeah, I noticed.
I I've been I've been hounding polymaker for like 3 years about that filament. So
You gotta start talking on the site, and then you join the Awesome Squad, and then you can shamelessly plug all the filament that you want. I shamelessly plug filament all the time.
yeah,
Yeah, they're like, hey,
yeah,
'cause I just want to see it made. Like I don't care about getting anything for it. Like I just want to see it
yeah,
so I can buy it, use it one time, and put it on my shelf because that's what I
yeah.
do.
I my like if anybody like Zombie's known for his awesome reds, that sparkly red that he
Really nice
has,
red.
like Black Label and Everlasting Media, they're known for like every purple filament. Like my filament, if I was ever to be known for a filament, it would be and I don't even like silk, but I do like dual silk, magenta and purple, or like a pink and a blue. Like that's
I'm not a dual color or tricolor person. You can give me a gradient, and I'm
yeah,
barely a gradient person. I just like the basic color. I like a solid basic color.
yeah. And I'm not a dual color silk person, but
Yeah,
there's something about the
100%.
the pink and the
Yeah,
purple, the pink and the purple, or the pink and the blue, magenta and purple, whatever that I don't know. It speaks to me like
for
that.
me, I think most people know I'm a burnt orange
Yeah,
person. Like I'm always hunting a
yeah.
burnt orange. I have a nice from 3DX Tech. I have an autumn orange that's nice.
Oh,
But
nice.
I don't know what it is. This is
My
one of my
favorite
favorite.
color is orange, actually, but
I think it is mine as well. Orange,
yeah,
and I'm from Baltimore, and our colors are orange for the Orioles and purple for the
yeah,
Ravens. But there you go. I think that's kind of like how that happened.
yeah.
But
That's
yeah,
why I have orange and blue, because no, I don't know why blue, but orange and blue. I always stock.
it's in your logo too, though.
Yeah, yeah. It's just yeah, it's orange and blue.
Yeah,
So Glendon, I saw Glendon here. How you doing, Glendon? Thanks
you
for
gotta go
coming.
deeper in that when you talk to Glendon.
What deeper?
You gotta go from the gut.
I need one of those things you have, like the buttons. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I need one of those, like yeah, like hi Glendon. Mm. Yeah, I need one of those. I need funky
Yeah.
voice change. Yeah. So I think
Oh, yeah.
Karen.
So,
I think Karen likes burnt
yeah,
orange.
that's cool. So blue, actually, too, dark and light version. Stop by Remerf, and he'll give you some. Actually, neither one of us are going to Remerf this year.
No,
Maybe next year for me.
I really
Uh,
wanted to.
I did too. I think the price, number one, was a big thing for me, as well as my wife's a teacher, so I do a lot of the back and forth
Yeah.
for my son to school. I probably could have worked it out. I'm also like, it's just something that I'm used to. But
Yeah.
I will be at Murph because my dad lives in Indianapolis, so
Yeah.
I will
Yeah.
be
For some,
definitely be
so for me, like I go to 3D Printopia. I drive.
at,
I'm from Maine, and a lot of people know that. Same as Zombie, but I'm like an hour north of where Zombie is,
yeah,
and our local airport, like flights from, unless you're going from Maine to Florida, flights
yeah,
to anywhere else in the United States are just ridiculously priced.
yeah.
So like a flight for me from here to Colorado is just crazy expensive. So,
Oh, I can understand that.
but yeah, maybe next
I'm an
year.
hour south of 3D Printopia. Ergo, the
Yeah.
reason why I volunteered. Because
Yeah.
when I found out that there was a 3D printing convention in like relatively in my backyard, I was blown away. And I went the first year just to go. Second year, I volunteered, and then third year, they allowed me to be the MC for it, which was cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I appreciate it. But yeah, so yeah, anyone who hasn't been to any of the Rep Rap festivals, you got to get out there. They're fun.
Yeah,
You
they're
get to
so
meet
good.
tons of new people, tons of cool people, people that you've only known, you know, by screen name. It's cool to meet them face to face. It's a great time. It's you know, it's the same people that we talk to every day here,
Yep,
or on Discords are the same. That everyone's exactly the same in person.
yep.
Um, and they're all super cool. All super cool.
Oh, so Peekaboo must be from up this way. I know
Oh yeah, Peekaboo from Nova
Fez Liz
Scotia.
is
That's
even
probably
further
not
north than me.
possible.
I think she's up in
Yeah,
like Nova Scotia or something.
Peekaboo's in Nova Scotia. Too late,
Is
Peekaboo
it? Yeah,
already told everyone.
yeah, yeah. Like I'm about 3 hours from Canada,
Oh, okay.
roughly.
I will be going to Canada this summer though, to Toronto.
It's nice. I love Canada. I love Vancouver. I've been to Vancouver a few times. I
This
love
would be
that.
my
I
second
love
time.
all.
The first time we went to Niagara, and it wasn't. It's just Niagara.
Yeah,
Like you're literally like over the border for the most
yeah,
part.
yeah,
You're
yeah.
not. We stayed over there for like maybe like 4 or 5 days, but you're like over the border. You're not in Canada. You're like, almost still in America for the most part.
Yeah, I've been to all the Canadian provinces. I drove to Alaska once through Canada,
Wow.
um, and I didn't realize like it was like the Manitoba Saskatchewan area. It is flat. I mean, it is dead. Like if you think Kansas is flat, like Kansas at least has hills. Like Saskatchewan and Manitoba, like there are
Yeah.
places where it was dead flat for like 800 miles.
Oh, that's awesome. So
Yeah,
little known fact. Okay, a lot of people, the Discord people know. I spend a lot of time watching like driving videos. It's just a thing for me. Like if I'm working, I'll just put on like someone driving through like the Swiss Alps or the French Alps or
yeah,
like Norway. So now I need to find a Manitoba
yeah.
or Saskatchewan stream, or not stream but video.
I
I will
remember.
sit there and watch it like it's 100% television. Like it's like the most interesting thing in the world.
You
I
should
will.
watch. Have you ever watched what's his on Twitch? Shenanigans 3D.
Yeah, I watch
Yeah,
Shenanigans as well.
he
But see,
he
Pennsylvania, I
streams.
recognize.
Yeah, he streams driving in his truck all the
Yeah,
time. Yeah,
yeah. See, and then
that's
I
cool.
think the other side of that is that I do like to do like geo guessing and stuff.
Oh
So
yeah,
being
yeah,
able to like just see that kind of stuff,
yeah,
I'm nowhere near like amazing at geo guessing. I just like to do it. It's just fun. And sometimes we do it in the Polymaker Discord as well.
yeah.
But just watching, people drive, it's interesting. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, Peekaboo says that the prairies are super flat. Like, yeah, and it's like you're driving, and I remember driving through Manitoba and Saskatchewan. I think it was on the Trans-Canada Highway. I was in a Jeep,
Mm-hmm.
and one side of the road was nothing but yellow fields, and I think it was mustard seed. And then on the
Mm-hmm.
other side, it was a purple field. I don't know what that was, like a clover or something, but it was yellow and purple as far as the eye could see for like hundreds of miles. It was crazy.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
but no, it's a nice. I mean, I think everything in Canada is nice. I mean, all the provinces have like really beautiful areas. Like my wife and I, we did our honeymoon in Quebec,
Mm-hmm.
at like the Frateau. I can't pronounce it. The one with the big copper roof. But that was really nice. A nice area. A lot of good food.
All right. So do we want to kind of wrap
Yeah.
it up?
Yeah. So
Well, everyone.
we're gonna do 8 to 9:30, guys. So we're a little bit over that. We appreciate you coming.
Yeah, appreciate you guys coming and hanging out, showing all the love on social media. Yeah, like we said, we will be, this is us, but it's also you guys as well. We want to make sure that you guys are a part of this. And we'll be asking questions of stuff that you guys might want to see. Even like, we're trying to figure out like, hey, do we do a Discord? I'm like, Discord's cool. It's how people communicate, but then also like a lot of us suffer from Discord exhaustion.
Yeah.
You're like already in like 75 Discord, so we're trying to figure this out and make it so that it's somewhere where we all can kind of like have fun, talk about stuff that we want to talk about, invite you guys in to be a part of what we're doing. And I think that's like the biggest thing. We just want to make sure it's still fun, that we enjoy ourselves, you guys enjoy it, and you know, when
Yeah.
we all meet up, we have stuff to talk about and kick back and have good times. And
Yeah,
hopefully, you guys will meet up as well. So,
we want to have you guys on, right? Like you don't
yeah,
have to be a manufacturer
yeah,
or a filament company or some huge maker or designer.
yeah,
Like any of you guys want to come on, please reach out. We'll have you on. That would be a lot of fun. That's why we're doing this, just to have a fun community chat talk.
yeah,
Discuss everything that we all talk about on socials, but just try to get a little bit more in depth with it. So
yeah. And if you guys got any cool prints or anything like that you want to share, let us know.
yeah.
We'll definitely, make that a part of what we're doing. Um, yeah.
So where should we raid to?
Oh man. Let's see who's on. Anybody have any suggestions?
Let's see. Is Zombie streaming tonight? I don't think so, right?
I don't think so. Jano's streaming, but he may be getting ready to end because I did see him doing marbles.
Janos, big Janos.
Yeah,
Jeez.
like a one.
Let's see.
Almost rated you.
You got raid
Mojee,
right back in
Ray
there.
Mojee.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. Let's see.
I know he's only been on for about 30 minutes. Yeah, we can rate
Yeah.
Jano.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right, guys. Thanks again for coming. We'll see you next week.
Yeah.
It was a pleasure, and we're
Yeah.
gonna raid into Big J.